Now let's get started with the practical stuff of Destructor. So in order to demonstrate the practical session on Destructor, I have already created application in the Visual Studio. In Visual Studio console application, there is a class called as employee, which has employee ID as a member and salary as a member. Then there is a employee constructor. Since the name of employee is same as your class name, this is your constructor. Inside the constructor, we have printed the message objects get created. We have initialized the employee ID to some value and we have initialized the salary with some default value. Then we have created a destructor. As per the destructor's definition, if we create something within the class with the same name starting with the tilde sign, it is called as destructor. So destructor name starts with the tilde sign along with the class name. And here the message we are printing within destructor, that is object get destroyed. Constructor will get called whenever the object of that class gets created. Destructor will get called whenever the object of that class get destroyed. Now within main, what we have done is inside main, in order to demonstrate the destructor, we have explicitly created one method called as emp detail. Within the emp detail method, we have created the object of that class employee. So what will happen is whenever employee detail function gets called within the main, it will jump to the employee detail method, and here the object will get called, object will be created and the constructor will get called. So it will print the message object gets created and it will initialize the values. As soon as the scope jumps out of this function, the object get destroyed. As we know that whenever we declare something within the block, the scope of that thing is available only within that block. Outside this block, variables or the objects are no more available. So because of that, the variable or the object declared within this block are limited to only this block. So that's why whenever this curly brace closes, the object get destroyed. So as soon as we come out of it, the object will get destroyed and destructor will get called. But since the .NET has the automatic garbage collection implemented, we need to immediately call the garbage collection to see the effect. In order to call garbage collection concept immediately, gc.collect method is used to call the garbage collection process. So what will happen is as soon as we'll use the gc.collect, garbage collection gets called, object is no more available and it will call the destructor. And the destructor message, that is object get destroyed, will be printed. So if you run this application, you should see the output object get created and object get destroyed, because here the object is getting created and after this curly brace the object is destroyed. But even after the object is destroyed, the automatic garbage collection will call the process automatically as per the convenience of .NET. But if you want to call the garbage collection immediately then and there itself, we need to go for gc.collect, which immediately call the garbage collection process. Okay, and hence it found that the object is no more used, emp object, so it calls the destructor of it and it will perform the operation inside it. So this is the way you can work with the destructor in the object oriented programming. So destructor gets called automatically whenever the object of that class gets created. Destructor will starts with the tilde sign followed by the class name. It will not have the return type. It will not have any arguments. It will not have any modifiers. So this is how we work with the destructors in the object oriented programming. So that's all from the destructors point of view. Stay tuned for the upcoming sessions.